You're watching News 19 Daybreak with Dustin Lukey, Candace Price, and meteorologist Alyssa Triplett. Daybreak continues right now.
Good morning. Welcome back. Well, it's a word that carries a lot of weight, and in a time of financial difficulties, it could also lift some of the burden. We're talking this morning about bankruptcy. Brian Weber, an attorney from Johns, Flaherty & Collins, joins me this morning with a little more about walking us through the pros and cons of bankruptcy. Brian, thanks for being with us.
Well, thanks for having me.
We hear a lot about the different chapters of bankruptcy. There's Chapter 11, Chapter 12, and Chapter 7, I think, is what we're talking about when it applies to personal finances. Can you tell us a little bit what the difference is, what this means?
Well, Chapter 7, bankruptcy basically allows an individual to list all of their debts. And then based upon some rules that are put in place in the bankruptcy code, they can protect some assets, keep their secured assets and pay off those debts. And then unsecured debts ultimately would be discharged at the end of the bankruptcy process.
So it sounds like it covers some of the pros there, the benefits of bankruptcy. Can you walk us through a few more? I guess, what does this do for somebody who files a Chapter 7?
Well, essentially, the purpose of a Chapter 7 bankruptcy is really to give somebody a fresh start who's come across the tough luck. Such as allows you to maintain your mortgage and keep your home, keep your car as long as you continue to make car payments. It stops foreclosures. It stops replenishment of your vehicle. So it allows you to keep your assets as long as you continue to make those payments, and it allows them to kind of get a fresh start or a restart, so to speak, by getting rid of some of the unsecured debts that they may have.
Yeah, and it seems like the word bankruptcy, again, the maybe psychological effect is one of the biggest cons of it, having to think about, I have to go through this. But what are some of the more concrete, the financial drawbacks?
Well, if you do file a bankruptcy, it's going to be on your credit report for 10 years. It may make getting credit from financial institutions more difficult, although that's not always the case, because an individual's debt to asset ratio will often improve after filing bankruptcy. So it kind of works both ways on that one. But there are certainly some financial institutions that are more reluctant to give loans to people who have filed a bankruptcy. And obviously there's the one you've kind of referred to, which is sort of the stigma that goes along with someone who's filed bankruptcy. And that's, sort of the public perception of what that might mean.
Yeah, so it is a major financial decision. Obviously, it's going to have some good benefits for the person who's filing and some drawbacks. It seems like all options are sort of on the table in this uncertain time. And Brian, we thank you for taking a few moments to walk us through this difficult decision.
All right, I appreciate you having me out today.
All right, Alyssa, over to you.
Well, thanks, Dustin, and we're continuing to watch for this active pattern continue, but today could be your break from that, and I'll have the details just after this quick break.